Let's get ready to mortgage. He is the prince of programs, guru of guidelines, master of matrices. He puts the fun in funding. Please welcome Mark, Mr. Mortgage, I tell.
All right. Well, you heard the man. My name is Mark Eitel, and I am your host for the Mr. Mortgage Show. Thank you so very much for spending a bit of your weekend with us. Yeah, so we talk about mortgages and real estate. We try to put a fun twist on it. But yeah, thanks for joining the Mr. Mortgage Show this beautiful weekend. But as always, you can hit us up on the Anytime hotline at 561-291-8569 with questions or comments. You can either text or call that number. Dom, my producer, is manning that telephone line. That's 561-291-8569. Or, as always, visit the website, www.mr.mortgage. There's never a .com. It's just mr.mortgage. So, yeah, it was another interesting week in real estate, and more especially news in general. And, you know, I'm not big on geopolitics, and I'm not going to pretend to be. I know it's a tragedy what's happening in Ukraine, and I don't know that anyone really imagined this was going to happen. So I just, prayers for everybody involved, and let's hope that there's, swift resolution and a minimal loss of life. But it got me thinking about how unsettling that must be to have someone, attacking your home. Being in real estate, I have a different perspective, I think, than a lot of people on what a home is. I see a home in the eyes of a first-time, buyer who's super excited to start on that journey of home ownership. And you hear me talk about it all the time, the ability to build equity wealth over time. And it really gets them kind of that launching pad necessary in life. They can sell later and trade up or, trade down. And, we talk about all the stages of ownership, but a home is so much more than that. I mean, it's the place where we raise our families and we celebrate our wins, and there's a lot of joy in home. But it's also, that's where we mourn. We suffer our losses and we kind of regroup together as a family. Whatever family is to you. Whether it's you and your pets or you have a big family. Home is home, and it means so much to so many people. We celebrate the joys and we weather the storms of life there. Both literally and figuratively. I mean, how many times have you come back after a long road trip, or you go home to your parents' house for the weekend, and you flop down in that comfortable chair or in that comfortable bed, and you're at peace. That's your home, and that's being disrupted for so many people over there, and that's what kind of hit home for me. No pun intended. Is that what that disruption must mean, because home is that stable place for so many of us. So anyway, I didn't mean to get all weepy-eyed, if you will, on that. It's just home means a lot to me, and I think that's why I enjoy being a part of the real estate community and the industry, because I see what it means for so many people. And this was a super interesting week in the Mr. Mortgage team world because of that. I mean, we in just this week we had an opportunity to work with people in the three major stages of real estate ownership. We are working with a young couple, first-time buyers, and they've been renting a condo for the last 5 years, and the landlord's decided to sell the condo. And it's a super cool story. He's given them the opportunity of first right of refusal. So they're buying the place that they've lived in. But the really exciting part is he's been quite generous with the price that he offered it to them for. So they're going to move in with instant equity. And what an amazing start for them. They're not only are they going to save a little bit each month because the mortgage payment's going to be less than they're paying rent, but they're walking into an immediate equity position. So I just love those stories. So even in this crazy environment where we get so frustrated with what we perceive all the sellers to be, operating from a place of greed, here's an opportunity that both the seller and the buyer are winning. So we had that experience where we saw somebody in that first stage of home ownership, and And I really enjoy that because it's made a significant difference in my life over the years. So I appreciate seeing somebody kind of take that journey. And we've talked, over the last several shows about the importance of that. So that was a cool experience. And we also were working with a family who's capitalizing on that rec loan that you hear me talk about all the time. And they're paying off a truck and a credit card payment. And those two payments alone are almost $700 a month. So we're pulling the cash out of the property. They're paying off their consumer debt. And yes, their mortgage payment is going to go up $50 a month. However, their total monthly outflow is going down nearly $800 a month. So for them, a significant improvement in their financial life, if you will, from a monthly expense standpoint. And it couldn't come at a better time with inflation where it is and all the upward pressure on pricing. So that's kind of the second stage of ownership as people are moving up and down and using that equity for opportunity and to put out fires, as I just mentioned in the case of the rec loan. And then, lastly, we're working with a super, super nice couple who are at a stage in life where, thank God, they're healthy and they've lived a long life, but they've outlived a lot of their savings. And they're feeling the pressure of a fixed income in this inflationary environment. So you hear me talk about reverse mortgages all the time. And for this particular couple, it's a perfect opportunity to turn that equity nest egg into the cash flow that they need to live out the rest of their life comfortably. And barring some, major tragedy, there's ample equity and ample cash available for them to live out a comfortable life. So it's just, all of the news of the week just kind of got me thinking about what home really means to people and the opportunity that it provides for so many people. And I think that the news in Europe and just kind of seeing the pictures of those, young families in the bombed out condo building just made me realize, wow, that home for them is completely disrupted, and that sanctuary, I guess, is not there anymore. So that just kind of made me reflect on our industry and how cool it is, how much I appreciate to be serving our communities in real estate. So anyway, not to get sappy, I just I didn't want the show to go by without addressing what's going on over there. From the market standpoint, again, I mentioned I'm not big on geopolitics, but I do watch every single ripple in the world of finance globally and locally, and how it affects markets and what it may do to appreciation and inflation. And honestly, we thought there was going to be more of a disruption in interest rates, particularly when the news of Russia invading Ukraine was announced Thursday morning, I believe it was. We saw a little pullback in rates, and we saw the market sell off. The market dropped about 800 points. But throughout the day, we saw the market fight right back. It's almost as if, the economic world is not buying into this being a long, drawn-out process. So I think two things are happening. One is it doesn't look like it's going to drag on. And two, there's so much upward pressure in inflation and interest rates right now that even something as earth-shattering as a Russian invasion into Ukraine is not really affecting interest rates. So as I mentioned Thursday, we saw a little bit of a pullback. We were able to capitalize on that, and we got a few rate locks executed with a favorable rate. But by the end of the day, it had kind of stabilized, and Friday morning it opened, right back where it was. So, interest rates and the stock market seem to believe that, the Russian invasion is not of concern in the finance world. And I don't mean that in a humanitarian sense by any means. I do think we'll see gas prices go up and some disruption, but just purely from an interest rate play, it didn't have the effect. And now we'll watch this moving forward, but it didn't have the effect that we anticipated. So, yeah, prayers for Ukraine. Let's hope this is over soon with minimal loss of life. And as far as rates are concerned, the Freddie Mac report that came out Thursday was 3.89% with nearly 1 point in fees. So basically unchanged from the week before. So we're going to jump into a break. On the other side of this, feel free to give us a call at 561-291-8569. That's 561-298-8569. Dom and I are watching that hotline, or visit the website, www.mr.mortgage. We'll be right back. Hey, it's Mark Eitel here, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show. And you've heard me talk about the valuation tool that we use in our lending practice almost daily. It's not quite an appraisal, but it's way more accurate than one of those online estimates. And we're happy to run one of those reports for you at no charge. Just visit freevaluereport.org. That's freevaluereport.org. Give us a little information about the property, and we'll be happy to send you your report. That's freevaluereport.org.
Here's another 5-star review.
We started our loan with a different company. They said we were approved, but at the last minute they told us there was a problem. I still don't know what went wrong, but thankfully our real estate agent told us about Mark. I was pretty stressed, but it's the perfect house, so we gave Mark a shot. He got it done. I'm not sure what was different, but I don't really care. We even got a better interest rate and with less money out of pocket than the first guy quoted us. It was a great surprise. Yes, I'm happy to recommend Mark and his Mr. Mortgage team.
It's not every day that you need an appraisal, whether it's for a divorce settlement, estate planning, or maybe you're appealing a tax assessment, or you just want to make sure you have adequate coverage in your property insurance. When you need a certified appraisal, turn to my friends at soflappraisal.com. That's soflappraisal.com. Peter and his team have been appraising properties here in South Florida for decades. soflappraisal.com. And tell them you heard this on the Mr. Mortgage Show.
Are inflation and everyday expenses eating into your retirement income? Maybe you've considered a reverse mortgage and have unanswered questions like, do I still own my property? Can the bank kick me out? What happens when I die? Can I still leave my house to my kids? These are all great questions. Visit www.moreaboutreverse.com to learn more. That's www.moreaboutreverse.com. www.moreaboutreverse.com.
Welcome back to the Mr. Mortgage Show. Call us now, 561-291-8569.
All right, we are back. My name is Mark Eitel, host of the Mr. Mortgage Show, and questions or comments can be sent to 561-291-8569 via text or telephone call. That's 561-291-8569. Or, as always, visit the website, mr.mortgage. So the good news in all of this is there's still so much scorching demand in the market. And, you know, all indications are we're here for a while. So read a couple of interesting reports in Redfin this week. And one was that nearly 70% of all offers submitted in January faced competitive offers. So it's just mind-boggling to me that there's still so much competition for properties out there. And I've got a little special surprise. I'll touch on it here in a little bit, but moving into the next segment on how we might be able to help you with that. But yeah, so much pressure in the market right now from the buy side. So 70% of all offers submitted had competitive offers submitted against them. And then I also read that listings were down year over year in January, yet sales were up. So get your mind around that for a minute, right? Less inventory, but more sales volume. And all that means is as soon as houses are hitting the market, they're going right under contract. You know, in a normal market, they might sit on the market for, 3-4 months. I hear some agents say a normal inventory is 6 months, and now it's not quite 6 days. I don't know how many of you have been to a theme park, but they have the fish food, and you put the quarter in and you spin the dial and the fish food comes out in the palm of your hand, and you lean over the rail and there's a bunch of catfish, or if you're down in the Keys, it may be tarpon. And as soon as you drop one of those little pebbles or one of those bait fish in there, there's a big explosion of catfish or tarpon consuming that dropping, if you will. And that's what's happening in the market. You know, every time a house hits the market, it's just being snapped right up. So even in the face of year over year decrease, albeit slight, in the number of listings available, the actual sales volume went up. So, but we're gonna jump into some questions. I'm gonna go to Dom. He's manning the hotline, and see if we've had anything come in. Any questions, Dom?
Yes, we just got this one from Steve in North Palm Beach. Steve is looking at a vacant lot in Jupiter Farms, and he wants to know, how hard is it for me to get a loan to buy the lot and build the house?
Hey, Steve, that's a great